And done. There's a specific kind of pain that comes with having to write an essay. Have you ever needed to throw up so badly but you can't? So you just force yourself to dry heave, and you're dry heaving over the toilet until finally the sweet release comes of having that uncooked quesadilla you ate for dinner shoot out of your mouth like your whole head just turns into a water park for bits of yellow and brown and red that all just comes out and splashes into the water and ends up looking like a melted gremlin in your toilet bowl. Writing an essay can feel like not throwing up. Now, note that I said not throwing up because that is a very different feeling from throwing up, which can feel great because the pain of throwing up doesn't come from throwing up itself. It comes from the feeling like you're gonna throw up. And sometimes, no matter how badly you have that feeling, you can't. So you just force yourself to dry heave to get anything out. Writing essays in university is a little like that because you have to force words out of your head like you're forcing vomit out of your stomach. When you're not fully engaged with a topic, forcing your brain to think of anything for it can feel agonizing. Sometimes your professor lets you choose your topic, but this can cause the same mental dry heaving because, there's nothing that will guarantee you not being able to think of an idea than having to think of an idea. And ideas are so important because just having an idea, one that interests you, one that has actual potential, is such a completely different experience because if you have to write your essay on a topic that makes you zone out just by thinking about it, then the essay is 20 times more difficult to write. Somehow when you're writing an essay, your brain forgets how to vary your thoughts. You've got the idea, you know what you're doing, and now you have to articulate your thoughts onto the essay. But for some reason, especially when you hate your essay's topic and you can't engage with it, the words just come out very robotically and you're constantly trying to express your ideas in a more, nuanced or more human way. And especially when you need to add variety to the way you're writing things, your brain refuses to give you any alternative phrases or synonyms. Writing an essay can feel like your internal thesaurus got stolen. So you constantly need to refer to a thesaurus just so you're not repeating the same words over and over again. I don't know what it is, but suddenly it becomes very hard to write about things in an interesting way. The final pain I want to highlight is that writing an essay can feel like an unfair limbo contest. Unfair because the people holding the bar keep lowering and lowering it. You know how low you can go, but with the bar lowering on you as you're going under, eventually it just hits you, and you fall and have to wallow in your own failure. Essay writing requires you to fit everything into these parameters that you have to get done within a very brief time frame. With a hectic student schedule, you never have time to really explore your topic and be thorough in your readings on it, and you can't really inform yourself about it or consider different ways of approaching it. You just don't have the time. Sometimes you're just forced to hand in bad work that you feel ashamed of because that's all you had the time to finish. But anyway, this is just something I wanted to get off my chest because it's something I've had to do over and over and over again. And with all that being said, I just think it's important to note that, with every essay you write, it gets easier. These are just pains that come with writing an essay that I think are worth discussing because they sort of reveal the whole point of writing an essay. It's an exercise. With every essay you write, these pains get easier to handle. You'll get better at tackling difficult topics and engaging with them intellectually, expressing your thoughts on them, and you'll be able to do all of these faster and faster to get it done within a certain amount of time. There are hurdles to overcome, and as you overcome them, you get better at doing it. And especially after you've written a ton of them, at this point, I feel like I can write one of these things in my sleep.